So before I really go through the different acts that they had, let's just briefly explain how it starts, right? So I've already explained Mfekane Guti, there's no such thing as that. It's Mfekane, Ukfelekaya. And it was really a depopulation method. Displacement, infiltration, invasion, whatever you want to call it. A lot of the stories that you hear about people running away from the Zulu Empire, many of them are fabricated myths, giving glory to another and bringing shame to the other, to create a tribalistic war within communities. If you haven't seen the video that I made about the wars that a lot of people don't actually know about, that shows the resistance, revolts, rebellion against this mass depopulation, you'll be able to connect the dots as to why many tribes had to flee and seek refuge, and how many who ended up displaced became absorbed into tribes, which is what grew tribes into marrying of displaced mothers and children, especially because a lot of the revolts were done by the men trying to save their people from slave ships and during slave raids. And while this is all happening, there are missionaries coming into the specific homesteads, either killing the livestock or stealing it, which means when people do return and mothers and children ran away during these slave raids, this is how the missionaries took over these specific homesteads. South Africa is big. The tribes that left South Africa, there were big clans with remarkable fortresses. If you just look at this document that is old, you can tell that besides absorption and intermarrying in order to protect children and mothers after excruciating displacement, this is what could have grown specific tribes to what they are today. The reason why the Zulu nation is known the way it is in South Africa is because they were fortunate enough that the invaders that they encountered were writers. Make the math make sense. To not give honor to people under Shaka, who took in and absorbed specific people to protect them, which is how polygamy actually thrived off of the protection of displacement of children and mothers, is inconsiderate. Millions of people were killed by invaders during these revolts. After they depopulated us, they brought in the Land Act. The Land Act literally put black people in a box, being 80% of the population. Then came the Group Areas Act. The Group Areas Act means if there's people living in a group, it is by law to displace them. So every time black people settled and figured shit out, their homes were burned down. Their livestock was stolen. They were displaced yet again. Every single time. This happened so many times. This act literally depopulated, displaced people over and over again. They couldn't catch a break.